Tonight, we're in the land of 10,000 rinks, but with sub-zero temps, it's better to be inside. XL Energy Center is the place as the Professional Women's Hockey League takes center stage. And it's the Ottawa Charge and the Minnesota Frost. And Maddie Rooney will be in net on goaltender appreciation.
She's been one of the best so far this season in the league. Just that one blemish really on her record so far this season. And looking to pick up a win against this Ottawa team. And like we talked about, Phillips on the flip side, kind of an opposite situation for Rooney, looking for her first win. Hasn't had nearly as many starts and has struggled a bit. But as we talked about in the Open, she's coming off her overtime loss to Boston, just allowed 2 goals in that game.
Carla McLeod, pride of Spruce Grove, Alberta. Former Wisconsin Badger, 2-time gold medalist for Team Canada. And her counterpart, Ken Clee, like you said, moving some things around. We're going to see Heisey with the red-hot Kendall Coyne-Schofield and Britta Curl. We'll see how entertaining that is for the team in purple here tonight as we're underway. Steckline starts it out. Gets a rink wide for Thompson. The defender will put it in on a backhand. Only game in the league tonight. Toronto at Boston tomorrow night in the PWHL. And the Boston Fleet and New York Sirens made a trade. And we'll be talking about that coming up in a little bit. Here's Rose bringing it back for the Ottawa Charge. Good lead pass as they gain the line. They tried to center. It's broken up. Himralova bangs it off the wall and works it back out to neutral ice, where she's turned back at the checkered line. Trying to end a 2-game losing streak, Minnesota Frost, and a 3-game slide for the Ottawa Charge. You got the sense, Alexis, when we talked to both coaching staffs, you know, there's some things that they like right now, but both very hungry to put the losing streak to bed. Yeah,
absolutely, and both coming off losses against the Montreal Victoire.
You know, in a lot of ways, Ken Clee and Carla McLeod really have good options at goaltending.
Absolutely, and part of the problem for Ottawa is they just don't score enough goals, so that always adds an extra load to the goaltenders when you're not getting that scoring in front of you. If you only allow 2 goals a night, that still might not be good enough to win, so they definitely need more scoring as well.
Right, a shot on from the slot. There's Danielle Serdachny, who's coming off one of her best games of the year in that loss to Montreal. Didn't get a goal, didn't get any points, but it was all over. And a lot of pressure in that hockey game. She got the first shot on goal here tonight for Ottawa. Here's Victoria Bach now. She has been really good since the trade for the Charge. Jinsey Rose coming in. Defender takes it around the net, still with it. Beats it high in the slot. That goes well wide for Snodgrass. And now Minnesota will take over. 2.5 minutes into the game, looking for the first tally of the night. Thompson on an angle dumps it in for the Frost. They'll make a line change. First of 3 straight at home for Minnesota. Frost are 4-3 in this building this season. Here comes Rose again. Jinsey, second game back from an injury. And we talked about that production from the blue line. She's a big reason they've put up the numbers on defense this year.
And the other thing for Ottawa is they don't really get a lot of goals from the point. They're able to get their defenders up in the play. A lot of their goals come more from the circles and beyond. So that's always a promising sign, because a lot of times you'll see defenders have points.
Well, there's a shot right in front, and they score. Brianne Jenner had a lot of room in the low slot, and the shot gets past Rooney. A little over 3 minutes into this hockey game, it's 1-0 Charge.
Well, she's first on the team in assists, Jenner is, but is able to find the back of the net here to get her team on the board first for her first of the season. And that was somebody we were talking about with Coach McLeod, Clay, about the fact that she's been having so many opportunities, and you're just wondering, well, when are those opportunities going to go? And she gets one here tonight, so the Ottawa Charge get on the board first. They've got points in all but 1 game this season when they've scored the first goal of the game, so a good start here for the Charge on the road.
First goal of the year for Brienne comes at the 3:19 mark. So the Ottawa captain gets the scoring started tonight. She was one of their first signees, one of those foundational signees before last season got underway. Fourth place. Right now, that's in the playoff picture. Last year, they finished fifth and just missed the playoffs, 3 points behind Minnesota.
Yeah, them missing the playoffs is what allowed Minnesota a chance to back into the playoffs late in the season, leading to their Walter Cup run.
Serdachny picked up at the Minnesota blue line. The Frost chop it back to the Ottawa zone. And Curl will go after it. She's ridden out of the play. Markowski turns it back. They're not able to clear the zone. Thompson 2-on-2. Has Shepers with her. Feeds it in front, and Shepers tips it on. And Phillips makes the save.
Minnesota's got their work cut out for them now. Even though Ottawa doesn't score that often, they're pretty good in the first period, and especially limiting chances. They've only allowed 5 first-period goals. They've allowed double that in the second and third periods of games. So Minnesota already down early here. You see that?
Natives of Czechia, which of course is coached by Carla McLeod. And Czechia is going to be hosting the World Championships coming up in April. Side of the cage, Mannon McMahon, one of those aforementioned UMD Bulldogs, tied up by Melissa Channel-Watkins for Minnesota. And the Frost will bring it back through center. Shishima got it into the Ottawa zone, but turned it over. Now Serdachny with speed drops it back. Markowski tips it back into the Minnesota end. Here's Panic now with some room. Gets it off for Shishima. Shishima moving in. Tried to slide it across for Panic, and that was broken up nicely on the back check. Now the charge coming back. Here's a chance. Moving in. Shot right on. And D'Arcangelo, who's been red hot. And a point-blank shot, Alexis, but she's stoned.
Ottawa Charge almost go up 2-0 end-to-end action, but they're up by just 1 for now. Minnesota looking to strike back.
Frostbite warnings here in St. Paul, 1-0 Ottawa as we go to Audra.
Well, Clay, you had mentioned that it is goalie appreciation night here in St. Paul, and that makes total sense given the tandem the Frost have between the pipes. Maddie Rooney and Nicole Hensley have been goalie partners now for 7 years, starting with Team USA and now, of course, the Frost. Now, Rooney says the two learn from each other every day. They push each other, and the support that they have for each other is never a question, even though they both want the net every night, night in and night out. And Hensley echoed that, but she also added that Rooney is the one person who knows exactly what to say when she's having a bad day, so she leans on her more than most people. And she did, guys, add the fact that if Rooney didn't say as nice of things about her that she said about Maddie, she would take it all back, but she doesn't need to worry about that. An incredible amount of respect between the two netminders, and such an advantage, such a unique situation for the Frost, and they take advantage every opportunity they can with so much trust with those guys between the pipes.
Yeah, Nicole Audra is coming off that lower body injury, which kept her out for a while. So she's healthy again. She's just not getting the start tonight, but easily could have.
Yeah, you use the word unique, Audra, and that's such a great way to explain this goaltending tandem. And not only that, but the relationship they have with Coach Ken Klee, the way they handle the decision with who's in between the pipes every night. And it's always nice when the two goaltenders are best friends as well, and having that support night in and night out.
1-0 Ottawa, a Brianne Jenner goal. Hughes and Clark on the assist. That came at 3:19 of the period. Minnesota trying to answer. This is Panic. Ridden to the outside. She'll fire it in. Comes to the near wing for Channel-Watkins. It's picked off there by Jenner. Turn back over to Channel-Watkins. She'll dump it in behind the net. Now Himralova for Minnesota. 11:40 to go, opening period. This is Zoe Boyd now, the 9th round pick in 2023 out of Quinnipiac. Plays it along for Hughes. And Ottawa will break out. Ottawa has been the better team here in the early minutes. Minnesota still trying to find itself. Sophie Jakes works it up on the far wing. It's going to drift in deep. Good to see Sophie Jakes back. 3 points in the 3 games since her return, and this is her first game back in this building since December the 19th against Ottawa when she was injured against the Charge. It's a different team with Sophie back.
Absolutely, and you saw her impact immediately in her first game back, and having that reliability on the blue line, but also the offensive capabilities on the blue line. She just can do it all.
Here's Ashton Bell. Flips it toward the front. It's picked off there. Bell, the offensive defender out of Minnesota Duluth. She has 1 goal, though, this season. She's looking for more. She'll feed it down out of the reach of Rebecca Leslie. And now it's tied up along the near wing side. Shepers shovels it out to center. Thompson had it momentarily, now taken back by the Charge. And kicked in deep. Rose will track it down. Rings it around the end boards for Bach. Victoria Bach out of Milton, Ontario. Vern LaRocque came over in that big trade with Toronto at the end of the calendar year. Here's a chance on the backhand for Kava. Ended up right on her stick. She put it on the goaltender, but Phillips able to keep it out. Long drive. That went wide of that far post for Steckline. Minnesota's starting to fire pucks on net now. Past the halfway point of the period, another drive by Steckline. He was hunting that near corner. And now Jinsey Rose will start it back.
A good little jump on that shift for the Frost. Threw a couple pucks at Phillips and looked like they had a little fire in their skates for the first time tonight.
LaRocque got it in deep for the Charge. Doesn't stay there long. Minnesota still missing a couple of top-notch forwards, Grace Sumwinkle and Dawn Petrie. Grace is missing her 6th straight game, getting closer. And Petrie seems like she's still a long way off. This is her 9th game in a row, Alexis, where she's not available after that hot start.
Yeah, it's tough to see 2 players like that not in the lineup. And every team is going to go through their injuries, and teams are going to have star players injured throughout the season as well. It's not always going to be 3rd and 4th line players, so it's always tough to go through it. Minnesota's been able to manage all right for the most part without them, but they're definitely going to be happy to have them back in the lineup when that day comes.
And the New York Sirens, as we talked about, making a trade. Boston getting forward Jill Saulnier from New York in exchange for forward Taylor Girard. Your thoughts on that deal?
I was a little shocked, to be honest with you, and if I'm involved in this trade, I would say that Boston wins that trade off the hop, just knowing what those 2 players have done and are capable of. But Taylor Girard, she's had a history in the women's league's past where she's been a very, very talented player, just hasn't seen that production necessarily in the PWHL. So maybe with the new team, she can find her groove again. But
numbers for Ottawa, 3-on-2, but good back checking there. Panic frustrating that play. Never really materialized for the Charge. And now we're going to get a whistle and a stoppage and our first penalty. With 8:04 to go here in the opening period. And this is going to be a penalty against Minnesota. Power play for the Ottawa Charge when we come back to St. Paul.
Here in St. Paul with Carla McLeod. Hey, Coach, you guys are off to a good start. Now a big power play opportunity. What is going to be key to maybe making this a 2-goal deficit?
Yeah, just getting pucks to the net. Like, it's such a cliche answer from every coach, but that's what you look for on your power plays, creating momentum and generating some shots. So that's what we'll try to do here. We'll see how it goes.
First of the season for Jenner, how much can you appreciate the chances that she's had now being able to cash in?
Well, honestly, she's such a great player. You knew the opportunities that have been there all year, so you just need her to get one, and with one, I suspect there'll be a few. But happy to see her smile and just now she can just relax and play.
Thanks, Coach. We appreciate your time.
Thanks, Sandra.
Well, power play has been an Achilles heel for Ottawa. We'll see if they can change that. Here's a Royale Tiger Towel power play brought to us by Royale Tiger Towel, paper towel, power through tough messes. That one skips wide and off the end boards. 14% with the advantage, Alexis. That's last in the league. Just 1 power play goal in the last 9 games for the Charge.
Yeah, it hasn't been great, but now with a 1-goal lead, maybe you use that to supercharge you here to find a way to get one on the power play to make it a 2-goal lead against a good Minnesota team.
Teralova sends it across, a one-timer. Wide, and it's cleared by Minnesota.
And that's why it's so important to hit the net on the power play, because one miss, one bank off the boards, and the penalty killing unit will jump on that puck and clear it down the ice.
Jenner takes it to the middle, feeds it to the circle. Another shot on, and shrugged off there by Rooney to the near wing side. Held in the zone by Bell. A minute to go still in this power play for Ottawa. Danielle Serdachny, nice feed across. A little too hot to handle for McMahon, and she's driven off the puck, and Minnesota clears it. I mean, they had an opportunity, 2-on-1 going back short-handed, but that was Sheppers who was headed for a change.
Minnesota does not have a shorthanded goal yet this season.
And of course, those are called jailbreak goals. That would spring the player in the penalty box if a team scores shorthanded. But like you said, Minnesota hasn't had one, and really not a lot of chances shorthanded this year.
Well, and sometimes it's just a matter of taking care of business first and focusing on the penalty kill. When the opportunity presents itself shorthanded, you obviously want to take it, but a lot of times, by the time you get that chance, you got to get fresh penalty killers out there, and you don't want to waste that energy taking it down the ice, especially early on in a game like this. Just a 1-goal game. It's the first period. You don't need to take that unnecessary chances on the penalty kill.
So off the offside, Ottawa with the neutral zone face-off. 15 seconds to go in their first advantage of the game. Bounces in behind the net. Jakes will play it off to the far wing. Held in by Mann and McMahon. McMahon. Far wing. Trying to advance it. There was Bach. She was locked up, and that's going to do it. Panic back on the ice. Minnesota back to full strength. Officially, one shot on goal on that advantage for Ottawa. Now Britta Curl will carry it back in for Minnesota. Bell lost it in the corner. Taylor Heisey, kind of quiet so far tonight. She had it momentarily. And again, you know, looking for some chemistry tonight on that top line for Minnesota.
Well, and Taylor Heisey's got the points this year, but most of them have been assists, and Coach Ken Klee believes that her role on this team is as a goal scorer, so he wants to find a way to get her going. And I said, well, what do you think the reason is that's not happening? He thinks the injuries and illness is holding her back, hoping she can break out soon.
It's not often you say, okay, you're tied for 4th in the league in points, but I need you to score more goals. But that's kind of the case between Ken Klee and Taylor Heisey.
Well, I think it's just because he knows what she's capable of. We know what kind of shot Taylor Heisey has. We know how she can be a game breaker and really facilitate play. Most of her points have been assists so far this season, but like I said before the break, Coach Ken Klee feels she's capable of more goal scoring, and that now that she's back to full health, both illness and injury wise, he feels that they can get those numbers up if he pairs her with the right people and she gets the right opportunity. So he's hoping on a new line here tonight she can make something happen.
Minnesota gets it out of its own zone. Here's Sheppers, plays it across. Thompson pulling up. Driven down by Teralova. And now we're going to get a whistle for a hand pass. And a penalty as well, pardon me. Yeah, an Ottawa penalty. And so Minnesota will get its first power play. Teralova pretty physical. This is the most penalized team in the PWHL.
Well, it's especially problematic when you're going up against one of the best teams in the league, like Minnesota, and Claire Thompson able to draw the penalty along the boards there. I always say Clay games are won and lost along the boards, and there's an instance of that, giving Minnesota a chance here on the power play. Only 2 power play goals in their last 12 opportunities. We'll see if they can get one here now.
Minnesota power play, a Royale Tiger Towel power play. Their first of the game. Played down low for Kendall. Coyne Schofield handing off for Shishova. Shishova back up top for Mae Batherson. She'll walk along the line, sends it down. Save made there by Phillips. And she'll leave it for her defense. They clear it to the line, but not out. Already 30 seconds gone by. Zoe Boyd lost an edge. And lurking right there was Kendall Coyne Schofield, who couldn't get control. Now Jakes feeds it down side of the net. Backhand for Coyne Schofield. Boy, even when she was a little off balance, managed to get a shot on. Another shot and a save. Again cleared to the line, and this time it is out as Batherson can't hold it in.
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth, Clay. I was going to say that Kendall Coyne Schofield, that's how you know a player's on the top of their game, because with her back to the net in tight like that, it would have been easier to hand the puck off, move it to the wall, move it to the point, and instead she goes, well, I'm just going to backhand it. I'm not even going to look and see where this goes. I'm just going to throw it towards the net. That's a player who's feeling good about their game and trusting that that puck has a chance to go in if I get that towards the net. So good look there by the captain, Kendall Coyne Schofield.
11 points on the year. That's tied for first in the league. As Heisey comes up, streaking on the far wing, and that centering pass, trying to tip it on. That was McQuigg. Now Heisey and McQuigg again teaming up. Heisey up top for Thompson. 30 seconds to go. And his first power play for Minnesota. Shots 7-4 in favor of Ottawa. Now shorthanded, working down low. Trying to get it on Vasco. That hit a skate. That's kicked back out to center with under 3 minutes to play in the period. 1-0 Ottawa. Brianne Jenner has the only goal of the game so far. To the middle. Budorak fed it across. And that's going to do it. Ottawa back to full strength. 2 shots on goal for Minnesota on its first advantage. Ottawa with an effective penalty kill, and they maintain the lead. Here's Claire Budorak, the 25-year-old Minnesota State product. Pass ahead on the stick of Brooke Bryant. She has a poke checked off her stick. Now to Larocque. Larocque for Rose, and Ottawa will break out of the zone. 2-on-2, dumping it around is Victoria Bach. Good check there by Flaherty. Had McMahon on her back for a moment. Ottawa holds the zone with Serdachny cradling the puck. She'll carry it to the middle. Now hands off, shot from the circle. Rooney saw it and snares it. On this Tuesday, 6 o'clock Central start here tonight. And we were talking to Carla McLeod, and you know, of course, coming off the game in Quebec City against Montreal on Sunday, fairly quick turnaround for the Charge, and then an early start to boot.
Yeah, and that's why it's so impressive they were able to get that quick early goal. Sometimes the way the schedule dictates your travel and where you're ending up, it can be tough to kind of get your skates going right away at the start of a game. But Ottawa, they're the faster team right now. They look very comfortable.
And Darkangelo continues her heater, sends it wide of the net. Darkangelo had the only Charge goal on Sunday, and a team best 4 on the year. One thing I've noticed, Alexis, here tonight that we haven't seen as much of in the last few games for Ottawa is completing passes. Ottawa dumps it in behind the Minnesota net. 40 seconds to go in the period. Heisey sent it rink wide. It was knocked back to the Minnesota line. Now comes back to Heisey again. She'll rifle it in with 30 seconds to go in the period. Charge come back. They'll try again. 3-on-2. Tipped on. And Rooney is able to glove it off the ice with 17 seconds to go.
And Minnesota does not have a win yet this season when trailing after 1 period of play. So not good news for the Frost right now. Down a goal with just about 10 seconds to go in the first frame.
Boyd is going to chase it back. Ottawa going to attempt one last rush here before the end of the period. 2 seconds to go. Shot just ahead of the horn, and Bach whistled it wide of the net as the Ottawa Charge will carry a 1-goal advantage into our first intermission. And so here we go. Panic will take the draw to start the second period against Gabby Hughes. On their way here in period number 2. I want to mention that They honored Willard Eichela before the game here tonight. Longtime coach of Edina High School here in the Twin Cities, former U.S. Olympian, 7 high school state titles with the Hornets, passed away yesterday at the age of 92. Gabby Hughes gets it to center. Emily Clark carries it in. And now here's Teralova. Aneta Teralova, been with the Czech national team since she was 15 years old. Now the captain of that team. A big part of what Ottawa does on the back end. She'll leave it back for Boyd, and now Boyd back for Teralova. Teralova shovels it ahead to the blue line, and it's dumped in by Meixner. Anna Meixner, a rookie from Austria, back to full strength. She was out recently with some illness.
She had a good game against Minnesota the last time these two teams met back in the middle of December.
It's off a skate, goes right out in front of the net. It's going to come all the way back into the Minnesota zone. Rooney out of her cage. Minute and a half gone by here in the period already. No whistle. Heisey. Good feed ahead. Kendall Coyne-Schofield had some room. It closed quickly by Ashton Bell. Now back for Heisey. She gets a quick shot on. Exactly what Ken Klee wants to see more of from Taylor Heisey.
And you could see that Phillips reacted to that a little late.
Now another good pass. Kava drops it back. That shot for Sheppers went wide.
And that's what a quick shot can do for you. It doesn't always have to be from a great angle or the best look, but sometimes a quick shot is just as dangerous as a really high quality one. And you can see the trouble Phillips had with that quick one from Taylor Heisey.
Danielle Serdachny, shadowed there by Sheppers. And now played over by Jocelyn Larocque. 1 assist in 5 games for Larocque since the trade, just ahead of the new year. She's got it between her skates now. Gets it on for Serdachny. Will just fling it back out to center. 2.5 gone by in the period. Rolling puck. Thompson trying to settle it down, feeds it ahead to the line, and Minnesota's offside as McQuick juggled it at the blue line.
Minnesota averages about 30 shots on net per game. They're below their average here tonight, but drawing a penalty where Thompson got hooked in that neutral zone, and that'll give Minnesota a chance to put some more shots on net.
Now, one thing about Ottawa, you play them, you're gonna know you're playing a hockey team. They're very physical. They're gonna rough you up.
And that's why if you're Minnesota, it's important to keep your skates moving, because when a team takes as many penalties as Ottawa does, you know you can maybe draw them into some situations that they don't want to be drawn into. If you keep your skates moving, keep your head up, and Thompson able to draw the hooking penalty there.
Another Royale Tiger Towel power play. Time of the penalty, 3:59. Minnesota 0 for 1 on the power play so far. Came into the night 3rd in the league at 20%. Heisey from the circle, blocker save. Thompson holds the zone, takes it to the middle. Now back for Heisey. They'll trade places. Heisey winds, fires, rebound, and that was blocked by Phillips.
Prime real estate there for that second opportunity, and Phillips able to read it nicely. Probably her best save of the game so far.
As Britta Curl making a bid for her 6th goal of the year. She is tied with Sarah Fillier of New York for most goals among rookies. A little over a minute to go in the power play. Here's Thompson. Thompson had it blocked in front. That was Gabby Hughes who took that one off the body, and now she'll skate to the bench. Panic, rink-wide pass. Here comes the speed of the captain. Kendall Coyne pulls up in the corner. Checked off the puck, and now another stoppage. That was a hand pass. Let's go back to the chance by Britta Curl, the rookie out of Wisconsin.
I mean, she has just been so good this season, and this shot by Heisey fired from the top of the circle
30 seconds to go in their second Minnesota power play. Panic. Hands off to Shishova. Shishova for Mae Batherson, who we learned a lot about during our intermission. Shishova. Boy, nice check there by Teralova. Got it to the line, but held in by the Frost. Still a few seconds to go in this advantage for Minnesota. Bouncing puck in front. Backhanded on by Coyne Schofield. And another save by Phillips. And the power play is over. Now a chance for Ottawa. Saved by Rooney. Boy, that was Leslie bearing down. Markowski plays it across. A drive for McMahon that's blocked by Jakes. McMahon stays with it. And now back to Markowski at the blue line. Ottawa, good puck possession, thrown to the middle. Picked off and to the line and chopped out of there by Minnesota. And Coyne Schofield will just knock it in as Minnesota will get new skates out on the ice. So another good penalty kill for Ottawa, and then right away they go back to work with the pressure in the attack zone. Here they come again. Serdachny pulls up in the corner and now feeds it back. Nobody home, and Ottawa's going to have to go back and chase for it. Under 13 minutes to go here, second period. Rink-wide pass from Bach. Serdachny has some real estate. Serdachny weaving her way through defense. Jocelyn Larocque tied up along the wall. Kicked along. Now Victoria Bach trying to move it. Serdachny makes a move toward the goal mouth. And that's broken up. And Minnesota able to get out of there with Brooke Bryant leading the charge. Here's Brooke Bryant now for Minnesota. Feeds it out in front. Tapped right on by a pinching Lee Steckline. Steckline, the 30-year-old, looking for her first goal of the year.
Everybody was tied up in the slot, so good job by Bryant just to throw it towards the mass of bodies, see if maybe it can get a bounce.
Coming up on the 8-minute mark of period number 2. Minnesota looking for the equalizer here on home ice. Trying to stop a 2-game losing streak. Meanwhile, Ottawa trying to stop a 3-game slide. Now a 2-on-2, 2-on-1 for a moment for Minnesota. Heisey again, another shot on. Kick saved by Phillips. Boy, there's no doubt that Heisey has received the memo. She's got the message loud and clear. More pucks on net. As Rooney will melt this one down with 11:35 to go.
Well, the Minnesota Frost looking to get this game tied up at 1 apiece. They've taken the lead in shots on net, but still looking for their first goal of the game. It's 1-0 charge.
When the league announced plans for the 9-game takeover tour, the goal was simple: to showcase the game to players across a wider footprint. 4 games in, safe to say the mission was accomplished. So far, at least, and it continues to impress everywhere the takeover tour goes. The Charge was part of Game 4 this last Sunday with a crowd of 18,000 plus on hand. That was the second largest so far this season. Now, the takeover games are averaging nearly 16,000 fans per game, something Coach Carla McLeod says speaks for the true love and support there really is for women's hockey. Now, if there were to be a takeover tour next season, I asked the coaches where they would want to go. Ken Klee said his vote would be for Chicago, while Carla McLeod said she would love to see a game in the Maritimes, saying that Halifax would be a great place to have a game. But guys, that was her second answer. Her first answer was Maui. She said, let's go on the outdoor rink, let's play some roller hockey, cross-sport action. She said, I'm all for it. And you know what? I volunteered. I said I got dibs on the sideline roll, and I will put in a good word for you guys, too, if we do end up going to Hawaii. How's that sound?
She stole my bit. I said Cabo was my pick. So, I mean, Maui, Cabo, I like the way Coach McLeod thinks.
An outdoor game. Yeah. I'll tell you what, especially after the last couple of days here in Minnesota, minus 20.
I know the players and coaches, we've heard so many stories about all the fun stuff that they've had a chance to do in these cities, and they've really enjoyed it as well.
It was a great piece during the intermission. Ottawa's tour of the old city in Quebec. Just a beautiful part of the world. Here's a 3-on-2 for Minnesota developing. Shishova tried to feed it down low for Panic. That was broken up. Now Kelly panicked, bumped off the puck. Minnesota keeps it alive. Penalty box is empty. Jakes swings it across. Militia Channel Watkins sent one down toward the net, and that hit a bottom. Now Gabby Hughes tries to play it for Ottawa. Thrown out in front for Minnesota. Nobody home, and the Chargers are able to bang it back through center. Militia Channel Watkins goes back behind her own net. Scored her first career goal at New York last Wednesday. That was exciting for her. Here's Ottawa again. Some room for Snodgrass. She'll hold, takes it into the corner. Being pestered there by Flaherty. Lost it in her skates. Trying to keep it alive. Flaherty there for Minnesota. Now Terralova. Terralova cross one-timer well wide for Boyd. And now Snodgrass. Poked away there by Sheppers. It comes to the stick of Sophie Jakes. 9:20 to go. Jakes will feather it in. Out of her net, Phillips. Leaves it for her defender. And now turned over to Minnesota. That was a dangerous play there for Phillips. It's going to work out okay for the netminder. As we come up on 11 minutes left here in the period. Or at the 11-minute mark, I should say, under 9 to go. Here's Thompson again. Claire Thompson, first-round pick, 3rd overall, and having a great season. Checked off the puck by Bell. Budorak comes into support for Minnesota, throws it down low for Katie Knoll, but she was tied up.
You know, Minnesota's tried that a few times here tonight where they throw a puck towards the slot, but Ottawa defenders have done such a good job of tying up that slot area. There hasn't been many opportunities there, even when the puck does find its way there.
This gets behind Victoria Bach all the way back down into the Minnesota end. Brooke Ryan. On a 5-game point drought, trying to break out. She'll dump it in. Minnesota getting new skates out on the ice. 8 minutes to go in the second. A lot of the play again in this period has been on this end. Minnesota has not been able to generate a goal. Serdachny carries it. Gets it to the blue line. It's knocked out. Back to the Minnesota line. Chintzy Rose now. Minnesota out shooting Ottawa now. 15-12. Good centering pass, but nobody on the other side for Darkangelo's pass across. Now tied up behind the net. Rooney watching from her cage. Britta Curl gets it away. Thompson has it taken away. Darkangelo, good pass down low in front, and Meixna tipped it just wide. Boy, Darkangelo again, one of the best players on the ice here tonight. Gabby Hughes with some room. She'll dump it in. Minnesota can't get control. Back to the checkered line. Brianne Jenner tried to feed it to the middle. Hughes left it there for Savalainen, and her shot is deflected up out of play. So we're going to take a break with 6:26 to go. Minnesota out shooting Ottawa this period 9-3, but still down 1-0.
Still 1-0 Ottawa lead here. We're joined by Minnesota head coach Ken Clee. Coach, really good battle so far. You guys are still in a very good position to take this game. What do you think of the response here in the middle frame?
Yeah, we just need to get pucks to the net. I mean, we know it's going to be a tight game. We just got to keep working on our offense, work on putting pucks to areas, get it behind their D, and go to work.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
You bet.
How much do you think Minnesota misses Grace Zumwinkle?
Well, she's just a spark plug. She plays fast. She kind of plays the same way Kendall Coyne Schofield plays, where she's hard-nosed. She goes to the net. She brings some speed. She's got a heck of a shot, so they're definitely missing her. And I know we haven't seen much of Dawn Petrie because she's a rookie in the league, but what we have seen is she can play with some fire as well. So they're definitely missing some big pieces, but so is Ottawa.
Rooney got a piece of that. Off to the far boards. Trying to keep it alive in the zone for Ottawa. Gabby Hughes. Hughes checked off the puck. Claire Thompson doing a nice job to take that away from Hughes. Ottawa gets it back to the Minnesota line, but it's intercepted there by Steckline. She'll play it right out in front of the Minnesota bench where it's turned over.
She's lucky they didn't get called for too many women on the ice there. They had some players changing, and it did hit somebody along the bench, but they must have deemed it legal.
Trying to wrap it around, and now firing it wide was Liz Scheppers as she got control. Scheppers still looking for her first goal in a long time. It's last year's playoffs. Kava up top, Flaherty. Richter goes wide of the near post.
Just the way they play the game, like I was talking about a little bit ago, I mean, that's the kind of energy you need out on the ice. And the Minnesota Frost today, they don't look very energized. And those are two players that could really add to that if you can get them in the lineup.
Ottawa's Brianne Jenner has the only goal. Came a little over 3 minutes into the game. Even strength. Here's Flaherty winding, firing. Trying to glove it was Phillips. Left a long, juicy rebound out there, but nobody for Minnesota there to hammer it home. Phillips has stopped all 16 shots she has seen. Now Kava trying to set up Budarak. She's tied up. That's gloved again by Gwen Phillips. Again, Phillips took that 5-2 loss to Minnesota here a little over a month ago, and she has been pretty sharp tonight.
And good job scooping that puck up for the whistle, because Kava was coming around that net on the other side looking for a rebound, but there was none to be had. So Phillips able to stop the play on that one and get the face off to her left.
Off the draw, Budarak. Muscle around Teralova. Held in here by Sophie Jakes. She'll feed it in deep. Here's Budarak again, looking to play it to the middle. Now Bryant had to take it off her stick. Ottawa gets it back to center. Another 4 minutes to go. Katie Knoll now for the Frost. Katie Knoll, a drive, rebound. Phillips tried to stop it, couldn't smother it.
So a good look there on the rush for the Minnesota Frost.
Top line back out there for Minnesota with Heisey centering. This is Taylor Heisey, feeds it up for Thompson, two of the top scorers in the league. Thompson had it blocked by Clark, and then Clark will hammer it on a backhand out to neutral ice. Now Curl. Helped out by Thompson, Claire Thompson. They get it ahead. Here's Taylor Heisey again for Minnesota. Pulls up on the half wall. She lost an edge or was tripped up. Blake carries on. Now Himralova swings it across. Minnesota looking to attack. Picked off by Markowski. And Ottawa will break out the other way. Tipped in from the blue line by Emily Clark.
And Minnesota's done a better job this period generating chances. Shots on net favor them 11-3 here, but they're still looking for that first goal. So they've taken that step to limit some of Ottawa's chances, but still need to find more grade A opportunities in the offensive zone, the Frost do. Especially when you're going up against a goaltender that doesn't have that many starts, you've got an opportunity to maybe sneak some dirty ones past her if you can get the looks.
Here's Manon McMahon. She's got family in attendance here tonight. The Maple Grove native. Carried it in deep but lost it. Now Minnesota back the other way with Himralova, the St. Cloud State product. She's stapled up against the wall. Turns it over. Ottawa will get control with exactly 2 minutes to go in the period. Good lead pass to Serdachny, but she kind of bobbled it to circle back for it. And that was played with a glove.
And typically, the rule of thumb is, if you can go 500 on the road and play good at home, you're sitting pretty good. But when you can put together that kind of success on the road, if they can just figure out a way to maybe win a little bit more at home, this is a team that could be right up there in the standings fighting for that top spot.
Already their 8th road game, 2 more than any other team in the league. And usually you'd say, okay, well, eventually the schedule is going to work out in their favor. We'll have more home games. But the way they're playing on the road, maybe that's not how they're looking at it. Kava. Race to the puck, and Teralova got there first. Boy, Michaela Kava lately really good. 2 goals the last 3 games. She's got a lot of confidence right now. Vanna Silva. Boy, that was close to being a boarding call for Vanna Silva. She threw Budarak right into the wall. In the slot, that goes just wide for Vanna Silva. Check that. That was Hughes. Kept it low to the ice. Missed the net on the near side. 45 seconds to go in the period. Hughes again looking to center. Ricochets. Shot blocked.
That stung her.
Sevalainen with that blast, and Katie Knoll is staggered. Now off the wall, Hughes got it right on, stopped by Rooney. And Knoll is able to shovel it back to the blue line of Ottawa with 20 seconds to go in the period.
She popped right back up, but she was not looking good, and she just skated to the bench, and you could see her favoring her leg as she hopped onto the bench there. Hope she's okay.
Katie Knoll, the rookie from Northeastern. Now coming in, Minnesota's Heisey gets knocked down out in front of the net. Again, play carries on, and no penalty just ahead of the horn.
I really like the way Taylor Heisey has played here tonight, Clay. You talked about it that.
And when we come back, Audra will talk with the Ottawa captain, plus a look around the league in the PWHL. We played 2 in St. Paul. Ottawa 1, Minnesota nothing. Back in a moment. As you would expect, has been fairly physical at times. Some hits being thrown, and leading in that category. Ottawa, no shocker there. There you see both goaltenders, like I said, especially Phillips, very sharp, pitching a shutout right now.
And a tough spot for Phillips to be in here. Only a couple starts this season. Neither of them wins. Maddie Rooney, much more experience this season, and most of them wins. Only the 1 loss. So in that regard, the goaltending duel right now favors Minnesota down the stretch just as far as experience goes this season. But Ottawa, obviously, with that 1-goal lead, has a little bit of an edge here to start the third.
3 points if you can win it in regulation. Minnesota Frost coming into the night 3 points behind first place Montreal. Ottawa with a 3-point night would jump ahead of the New York Sirens and be all alone in 3rd place. So here we go, 3rd period underway. Minnesota gets it out of its own end, back to the Ottawa line where Jinsey Rose will start it back. Ottawa trying to end its 2nd 3-game losing streak of the season. Had one early, and now they've lost 3 in a row again.
Well, Minnesota has not lost 3 in a row yet this season. If Ottawa wins here tonight, that would be the case for Minnesota for the first time so far this year. So,
yeah, they've been consistently good. It's just coming back home here. You think that maybe they're going to be excited to be back in this building, have a lot of offense, especially getting healthier. This is as healthy as they've been in a while, but just haven't had any offense tonight. Still a lot of time. There's a player down, colliding with the official, Kendall Coyne-Schofield. And it looks like she's okay. She's up, she's skating over to the bench. But she collided with one of the officials.
Well, both her and the official kind of looked at each other, gave the, are you okay, are you okay? And I think that's why there was a little pause there. It looks like everybody's okay. We'll keep our eyes on Kendall Coyne-Schofield here for the next shift.
I got to keep my mouth shut. I just said Minnesota's as healthy as they've been in a while, and then that happens. Now Jakes goes down in a heap as she collided with Vanna Silva. Both of those players get off the ice under their own power. 2 minutes into the period, it's been physical. Batherson had it between her skates, lost it. Now McMahon will start it back for the charge. Poked off the stick of Bach. Minnesota now with some speed through center. Here's Scheppers coming right in. Shot saved. And no rebound for Scheppers, who was following her shot. Flaherty now. Rister knocked down. Again, shot down low. Hit some traffic, and Serdachny will skate it free for Ottawa. Here's Serdachny, pulls up, flips it to the front. That hit a skate. And now McMahon. McMahon plays it back to the point for Jinsey Rose. High shot off the back wall. Turning and firing there was Snodgrass. That's knocked down. Serdachny tried to make a move to the cage. Now rolls in behind the net. Coming up on the 3-minute mark of the final period. Snodgrass, good move, but it rolls off her stick right to Claire Budorak, who will get it back to neutral ice. There's Budorak again. And now Rose will start it ahead. This is a fluttering puck into the Minnesota zone. Played back for Knoll. Picked off. Here comes Ottawa now. Another shot that misses badly. Ottawa's had some shots here in the period already, but some big misses. Now play whistled down. Rooney coming off that game where she took that tough shootout loss in New York her last time out on January 15th. And she's thinking, okay, here we go again. You know, a game where I'm playing well. I'm just not getting a ton of offensive support. Now there's still time for the Frost as we try to go to work here. Channel Watkins, top of the circle. That's broken up by Teresa Vanasilva. Vanasilva's played better defensively tonight than she has offensively. Had a great start to the year. 6 points in her first 6 games, but none in the last 5. But she has played good as a defensive forward tonight. Now Batherson. Off to the half wall. That shot missed wide. Minnesota keeps it in the zone. Batherson holding it in. Fed down into the corner. Good to see Kendall Coyne-Schofield back on the ice. That one ricochets again off the stick of Vanasilva. Another block shot for Teresa. Rose trying to help Ottawa come up for air here. She's trying to stay away from Scheppers' reach. And she'll hand off. D'Arcangelo starts it ahead. Charge finally have some room. Here's Jenner again. She'll fire it on. And it's stopped by Rooney. Easy save there for Maddie.
You hear the players and Coach Kenkley talk about this time and time again that they're equally comfortable with either goaltender in between the pipes. They like to rotate them. He calls them 1A and 1B. And usually on any given night, you're going to get a good performance out of those two. And Maddie Rooney right now is giving her team a chance in this one, but they've got to find some offense here. Still looking for their first goal of the game with just about 13 minutes to go in this one. And Minnesota, who's had success scoring so far this season, has only scored 2 goals.
Steckline on the wraparound. And that was kicked out of there by Phillips. Well, at least Steckline almost had her first goal of the year.
Yeah, Steckline was good offensively last season, but took a while to get her first point this year. But she's so good at generating offense from the blue line. She's got a great shot and a great vision for the net.
Holding it in, Thompson drives it in deep. Shisheva tries to slow it down. It hops her stick. There's Steckline again. He'll feed it back in behind for Thompson. Just to chase it again. Under 13 minutes to go. Oh, over McQuigg's stick. She couldn't hold it. Now Steckline will have to go back. Good stretch pass. Scheppers couldn't handle it. Taken away by Danielle Serdachny. Now McQuigg coming in. Almost forced a Minnesota turnover. Kava driven down. In front of the official by Sevalainen. No penalty. Been a pretty wide open game here tonight. We've had a couple of penalties early on in this game. Here's Jakes now for Minnesota. Melissa Channel-Watkins bumped up against the boards by Sir Dackney. Now Rose comes over to help out. So Minnesota tries to get something going. Minnesota down 2. Here's McMahon now for Ottawa. Trying to add to that 1-goal lead. McMahon fed it out in front. He's off the boot of one of the Minnesota players. And Batherson gets it back out to center. Pumped right back in by the Charge. 11:27 to go. Bryant stood up. Ran into a double team along the wall. Rink wide pass. Good move. A pirouette there by Flaherty to get some room to drive it in deep. Minnesota will make a line change. Now Zoe Boyd for Ottawa, digging for it. Minnesota gets it. Batherson will hold it in here on the near point. Batherson moving around Vanasilva. Kendall Coyne-Schofield got it into the corner. Now Heisey feeds it over. One-timer. Shot right on, and the save by Phillips. That was Maggie Flaherty with the drive.
Phillips has had some trouble with some of these shots here tonight as Minnesota gets a couple of good looks. Steckline wraps one around. Flaherty had a look, but it's still 1-0 Charge with 10:48 to go.
There's Emmerich Smashmeyer, the 30-year-old goaltender for the Charge, who has been given the night off tonight. Despite the win-loss record, 500, the number's really good. Goals against just over 2.1, 93 save percentage. She has kept Ottawa in a ton of games this year because, again, they haven't scored a lot.
Yeah, she has done her job as the starting goaltender for the majority of these games this season, and she's been really sharp and just hasn't gotten the support offensively in front of her. But Phillips getting the call here tonight. Coach McLeod wanting to manage the goalie load a little bit. It's been a tough travel week for them with their schedule, so wanted to give Mashmeyer the night off.
And Phillips has stopped all 20 Minnesota shots she has seen tonight. Frost desperately need the next one as we approach the midway point of the third period. Thompson knocked out the puck for Minnesota. Sevalainen caroms it off the sidewall. Back out to the checkered line. Minnesota will get it back. Thompson scoops it in. Minnesota will get fresh skates out on the ice. Ottawa trying to put that 3-game losing streak to bed. Brianne Jenner got the first one early at the 3:19 mark of the first period. Nothing on the board since. Channel-Watkins plays it across. Another shot blocked. Sophie Jakes had it knocked down in front. Now Vanasilva gets it to the blue line. Hands off. Meixna back for Vanasilva. She lost it to Channel-Watkins. Melissa getting back on the back check for the Frost. And Minnesota will slide it out of the zone all the way back down. 9.5 to go. You always get the sense, Alexis, that the next goal is going to be fluky somehow.
Yeah, it's got that feeling for sure. I mean, this game has been physical, so bodies are kind of getting thrown around, and you just never know how a puck might bounce. And I think especially if you're Minnesota, that's why you just need to throw the pucks at the net. Gwyneth Phillips has not handled everything super cleanly tonight. So far, she's stopped all of them, but not all of it has been easy for her. And if Minnesota can continue to throw pucks on net, they might find themselves with a bit of a greasy goal.
This is Bannon McMahon. Maple Grove got it in deep for Ottawa. Rookie 5th-round pick. A couple of goals against Toronto last week. Shepherds from the corner. Lost it behind the net. Minnesota trying to keep it alive. Claire Budarak trying to center. She'll cycle it back in. Nobody there for the Frost, and it's on the stick of Zoe Boyd with 8:20 to play. Getting late in this game here in St. Paul. Claire Thompson off for her defensive pair. Lee Steckline. Steckline feeling aggressive, but lost it in the slot. You don't see Lee do that very often. Usually she likes to hover right after she gets in the zone, right around the blue line.
Those are the kind of decisions you have to make, though, as a defender when you're down a goal late in the third period, and not only down a goal, but still looking for that first goal of the game. Sometimes you need to make that extra play there just to try to generate some offense or throw your body around a little bit.
Emily Clark driven off the puck. Ottawa gets it in deep, however. Let's do a shot by Maddie Hughes. Now Curl hands off. Good speed up the near wing side for Taylor Heisey. Heisey a drive through a screen. Ashton Bell was shadowing her, and Heisey used her as a wall, but Phillips continues to be sharp here tonight in Minnesota.
Taking a look at our game summary, a good quick start here tonight for Ottawa. Just over 3 minutes in, it's Gabby Hughes with a feed to Brianne Jenner. And the captain making it happen for her first tally of the season. But it is goalie appreciation night in St. Paul. How fitting that we've got quite the duel going between the pipes. It's the Ottawa rookie Gwen Phillips with the edge. 21 saves on the night so far. What a battle we have in downtown St. Paul. And guys, I mean, let's be honest, it's goalie appreciation.
Yeah.
Have you expected anything different? No,
perfect.
This is exactly what you'd hope for, right?
Yeah, right on cue. Right on cue. They got it right. And how about Gabby Hughes, the product of Centennial High School here in the Twin Cities, with her second point of the year. Now another chance for Ottawa. They send it wide. They had the angle on Rooney too, but a shot that goes up over the top of the net.
And Rooney came way out trying to challenge that one.
Now Emily Clark flips it out in front. Nobody home for the charge. Curl got it back to the blue line and out of the zone, but good pressure here for Ottawa late as they try to pad their lead.
Ottawa's done a really good job, especially in the neutral zone and top of the offensive zone. When Minnesota's trying to break out or move it through the neutral zone, they've done such a good job of collapsing in on them and breaking up the play.
Long drive, Rose, gloved by Rooney. Going to face up with 6.5 to go. There is Gabby Hughes. You know, still hunting her first goal of the year. That's interesting, considering she was tied for the team lead with 9 last year. Now, doesn't have any goals on the season, but that assist, that was really big. Now Vanna Silva in the slot. Is off the skate of Channel Watkins. Karam's off to the far wing side. That could be a huge point for Gabby Hughes.
Yeah, and Gabby Hughes, you talked about how she led in scoring last year towards the top for Ottawa. She was also tied for 4th in the league overall, along with Brianne Jenner with those 9 goals.
Vanna Silva attacks. And it kind of rolled off her stick. I really don't think she got a shot on Rooney. Now 2-on-2, back the other way. Minnesota dangerous, and that's going to ramp up off the stick into the net with 6 minutes to go.
Let's take a look at how this play developed. It driving towards the net, and never got that shot off. It just rolled off her stick. It still created a decent amount of chaos out front there. It banked off Sophie Jakes' skate, and then Rooney's kind of swimming in the crease there for a moment, but Minnesota Frost able to dodge some trouble there, keep this just a 1-goal game, and now with exactly 6 minutes to go, Clay, we're getting close to do or die time here.
Off the draw. It's going to kicked out through center all the way back down. Vanna Silva, we said early on that she's kind of quiet offensively. She has come on late here for the Ottawa Charge. It's interesting to note that she's tied for the league lead in penalty minutes too. So really good offensive player, very physical as well, as that one is gloved by Phillips. And it's a great tournament. And right now, Northeastern is leading Boston University 3-0 going to the third period.
Yeah, it's always a fun time of year, looking forward to that game, and always seeing those players come out and go on to bigger and better things once they move into the pros as well. It's fun to see how so many of them have fit in nicely here in the PWHL as well.
Boston College, the 4th team that makes up that 4-team tournament every year. Just over 5 minutes to go. Minnesota desperately needs the next one. Otherwise, that losing streak is going to stretch to 3 games as Ottawa trying to put a 3-game losing streak to bed tonight. Lee Steckline starts it ahead for Minnesota. Taylor Heisey turns it over right at the logo at center. And Ottawa carries it in deep. Minnesota tries again. Pearl will just tap it in. Line change for the Frost. 4.5 to play. It has been a tough month in January. We talked about it before for the Minnesota Frost just because of the grueling schedule. Earlier this month they were shut out, Alexis.
They've also had a handful of games go to OT this month, so playing extra hockey.
Kava across. Shisheva trouble handling that pass on her backhand.
Yeah, if Shisheva's a righty there, she's probably able to get a decent shot off.
Bounces high off the glass behind the net. Trying to create. Shisheva hands it off down low for Panic. She swung it right through the crease. Now Jakes from the corner. The defender down low. Panic again through the blue paint. Kava will run it down. 3.5 to go. Turned over. Ottawa gets it to center. Victoria Bach. And now it's going to be whistled down again. We've got a penalty.
Yeah, I think it's going to be too many women on the ice.
And the Minnesota fans don't like it. It's actually a roughing penalty.
Well, there was some hubbub going around by the Minnesota bench. You know, I thought that's what the call was going to be, but roughing is the call. And all right, so you see at the top of your screen there.
Oh, and that was contact to the head, Alexis. So, you know, this might be a situation where the league takes a peek at that as well.
Kava doesn't like it, but yeah, you can see on the replay, especially that second one our crew gave us a look at, you can see the arm to the head, so, which is likely why it was called, even though it wasn't an overly egregious hit. The contact to the head is going to get called every time.
The Royale Tiger Towel paper towel power play. Ottawa 0 for 1 with the advantage tonight. Chance for the Charge to make this a 2-goal lead late. Under 3 minutes to go in the hockey game. Emily Clark from the circle. Plays it across. Rose to Teralova. Back for Rose. Looking for a shooting lane. Jinsey Rose. Off to the far wing. Drive. Jenner. That hit a body in front. Minnesota trying to clear, and they will, as Channel Watkins will swipe at the length of the ice. 1:15 to go in the power play.
And I don't ever like saying anything is a must-kill play, because as long as there's time on the clock, there's always time for something to happen. But if there was ever a time to say it's a must-kill, this would be it, with just a 1-goal game and 2.5 minutes to go.
Ashton Bell trying to wheel around Thompson, and she does carry it in deep. Now it comes loose. McMahon will get there for Ottawa. Minnesota trying to dig it free. 50 seconds to go in this power play for the Charge. Thrown out toward the middle. It's picked off there by Himralova. Clara Himralova lugs it all the way back to the Ottawa line. That'll buy some time for the Frost. 35 seconds to go in the penalty time to Kava for roughing. Came at 16:37. Loose puck at the blue line. Swipe back to the Ottawa end. .15 seconds to go in the penalty time. Boy, just a brutal time for a Minnesota penalty for the Frost chances to come back in this game.
Especially for a game where we haven't seen that many penalties called, and you take one at a really bad time, and they're able to kill it here, but now you don't have a lot of time left to work with and still got to try to get Maddie Rooney to the bench.
Panic made a move, picked off in the middle. Rooney trying to get to the bench, but she's got to come back. She was halfway there and had to come back. It's an icing call. Now Rooney will skate to the bench as the faceoff will be in the Ottawa end. Well, the Ottawa Charge back at TD Place on Monday, January 27th, 7 o'clock. Take on Sarah Fillier. And the New York Sirens joined the Charge in honoring hockey community heroes that helped make the game great. Tickets available at ottawacharge.com/tickets. So we've got a timeout called by Ottawa, as they're going to be in a defensive posture here with the faceoff coming in their end. Minnesota will have the extra attacker on. What do you anticipate here?
Well, they got to get pucks to the net. As I mentioned a couple times throughout this game, Gwyneth Phillips has not handled everything cleanly. She's given up second opportunities. She's juggled a couple of shots. They just need to find ways to generate some opportunity. And now with an extra skater on, you've got an extra body out there to help create some chaos as well. Minnesota does not have a goal yet this season in a situation with the goalie pulled. So trying to do something for the first time here tonight. And, Coach McLeod with her Ottawa Charge team, she felt they were ready to break out of this slump, and she felt this game could be the game it happened, and they are so close to having that become a reality here tonight. Just a minute 9 to go. Gwyneth Phillips has been sharp in between the pipes. She's stopped all 22 Minnesota shots so far. Only her third start of the season, Clay. She's been great here when she's needed to be.
What a place to get your first win of the year against the defending Walter Cup champions. Just over a minute to go. Empty net for the Frost. They're going to have to come back to neutral ice and reset.
Just a sloppy play there at the top of the zone, and that's going to kill a handful of time here.
Kimmerlova pinching over, trying to keep it alive for Minnesota. Kava bumped off the puck. It comes to Teralova. She gets it up off the glass, but not out. Now Minnesota gains control. 35 seconds to go in the third. Kendall Coyne-Schofield bumped from behind, driven down. Here's Heising. 25 seconds to go. Long shot, bouncing puck, ends up behind the cage. 20 seconds to go in regulation, and a whistle, and the net came off its moorings.
Well, Ottawa's done a really good job with the goalie pulled here from Minnesota of keeping Minnesota to the perimeter for the most part. They haven't been able to get pucks into prime real estate, and this is a big 3 points on the line, Clay. You and I were talking about it off air here about how Minnesota would still be in second place even if they would have won this game in regulation, but even a couple points would help, and Ottawa can jump to third with 3 points in a regulation win here tonight. So a lot riding on this one.
Face-off. Squirts to the corner. Flipped out in front. Nobody there for Minnesota. Loose at the line, and Minnesota's offside with 10.4 to go.
Well, they avoid the ultimate trouble of giving up that empty net goal, but I believe it was Jakes wasn't completely out of the zone yet, and that will force this face-off out to the neutral zone. Here's another look at the offside. So great play at the offensive blue line there for Minnesota to at least keep it contained, but now only 10 seconds left.
Empty net. Minnesota has to hurry. They get one toward the front. Kava sent it on. Another long shot. Broken up, and that's going to do it. Phillips did a beautiful job here tonight, Alexis.
And you heard her say they're just starting to tap into what this team is capable of, and they're hoping this is the start of something really good for this Ottawa Charge team.
That's going to do it from St. Paul. We hope you enjoyed it. Brianne Jenner, the only goal of the game tonight. 1-0 Ottawa with the win over the Minnesota Frost. For Alexis Pearson and Audra Martin, I'm Clay Matvick. So long from St. Paul.